Hey guys, it's Jim from Wrestle Talk here. Welcome back to another video and welcome back to another episode of the Unseen Battles. Now, before I introduce my absolutely fantastic guest, I want to talk about the Hot Tag Foundation. The Hot Tag Foundation, if you haven't seen my videos before, make sure you go check these guys out. Even if you have seen them before, still, I'd watch this next clip and follow the QR codes. Make sure you go give them some love. So the Hot Tag Foundation is a non-profit organisation based here in the UK that aims to share wrestling with children across Britain, particularly those in need. For instance, is collecting donations of wrestling items that could be including toys, merchandise, and other wrestling-related goods. Basically, what they do is they try and leverage the appeal of professional wrestling to bring joy and a sense of real-life superheroes to children, especially those facing challenging circumstances, by providing them with personalized wrestling gifts and fostering a community-oriented approach, a kindness and well-being. So just check out this quick video, guys, and then I'll introduce my guest.
Ready for stains the horizon, the sky's turning red. Steel claws of vengeance awaken the dead. The silence is shattered, the battle drums roar. We march through the ashes, we're ready for war. No mercy, no chains, no fear in our veins. The fire ignites, we'll never be tamed. Ready for war, the thunder will break. Fury unleashed, the earth's gonna shake. Raise the black flag, let the demons soar. We're forged in the chaos, ready for war. The wolves are howling, the night's closing in. A blade in the darkness where shadows begin. The weak will crumble, their cries fade away. We stand in the inferno, we'll never obey. No mercy, no chains, no fear in our veins. The fire ignites, we'll never be tamed. Ready for war, the thunder will break. Fury unleashed, the earth's gonna shake. Raise the black flag, let the demons soar. We're forged in the chaos, ready for war.
So there you go, guys. That is the Hot Tag Foundation, along with all the other UK wrestling organisations. Just a couple to name there. Obviously, UK Wrestling, wrestling in Newcastle as well. But on to today's episode of the Unseen Battles. I'm joined by a 10-year veteran of the wrestling. I'm also joined by the co-owner of Salford City Wrestling. He is the Vigilante Bentley. Welcome to the channel, mate.
Hi, how we doing?
I'm not too bad, mate. How are you?
Not too bad. It's weird when I get caught, but I don't think I'm a veteran. I know I've been wrestling for 10 years, but to me, a veteran, I know so many people who are veterans. And yeah, I think I've got another 20 years to go before I could even say that about myself. But thanks for saying it.
Yeah, end of the day, mate. You've been doing it for 10 years. For me, that would class someone as a veteran, especially someone with such high caliber as yourself. Watched quite a few of your matches, and I've got to say, mate, it's awesome to watch you wrestle. It really is.
Cheers, thank you. I think it's because maybe I'm starting now to get a bit more on promotions, and I think it's clicked a bit more in my head about what's good wrestling and what I like and what I'm good at, and I think more recently I'm starting to get the building blocks of what I've wanted a long time ago.
Yeah, Sam, fantastic. So for those of you that are watching for the first time, obviously, welcome to the podcast. The way that this is going to go to the episode goes is that we'll start off with Bentley's introduction into wrestling. We'll then also delve into his journey through wrestling, from being a fan into a pro wrestler and then into a co-owner. And then as we get further into the episode is where we're going to be delving into the struggles, the battles, and then the eventual triumphs that Bentley has faced with his mental health. If anyone is watching this that does suffer with mental health, I put quite a lot of links into the description down below, not just with mental health, but also with addiction. So if you are struggling with any of those, make sure that you go check those guides out. But other than that, if you're ready, mate, we'll kick straight off with the questions.
Always ready.
See you in 2 seconds, guys. So, mate, first question I want to ask is, what was the very first memory or experience with professional wrestling that really captured your imagination and made you want to do it?
Oh, so this is a weird twofold kind of answer for me, because I didn't actually think about doing it till after university. But I'd always watched it. So I remember watching, my dad had VHSs, and I'd watch all the old WrestleManias on VHS when I was a kid, and then try and stay up late and watch them, getting told off for staying up late, and when it was on years ago. But my memory's for some reason my memory's great on other things. Remembering stuff went from earlier childhood when watching TV, and wrestling history for some reason isn't the best. I know people who can be like, oh, WrestleMania 5, I know the third match on the card, and I know how many minutes it went, and I know what, I've not a clue. But yeah, so me, I think I'd always thought about doing it, but not really. Because I was very into football as well. So I played football throughout uni. And then after uni, I was playing for two pub teams. I was playing five-a-side football. I was playing like 3 times a weekend. And I kind of just got bored of people intentionally trying to hate each other. It's just pub league. People shouting at each other. It wasn't really for me. As much as I love football, I still do. I wasn't enjoying it. And I just Googled what I was like, what else do I like? I like wrestling. I wasn't even aware at this point that there was British wrestling. As stupid as that sounds. I didn't even know it was you could go and watch in Britain. Didn't know about any of the promotions, didn't have a clue. So I was just Googling, can you wrestle in Britain? And then at the time when PCW was quite a big promotion back then, they were opening their first ever academy. So signed up. I think I had like 10 weeks. So I did all the Googling, what you need to do, what kind of fitness do I need? And it was, if you've heard of the insanity workouts, those video, it's not really as big as it used to be, but I was like, well, that's sort of kind of hit cardio. And so I did the full 10-week program of that. I was like, I'm ready for this. And then, I started there, and I was not ready for it.
So you alluded to that you used to watch it. Were there any specific wrestlers or matches or promotions that influenced you most in your early days?
So I've got my favorite guy. I think Undertaker, Triple H in the Hell in a Cell, end of an era, was one of my favorite matches ever. It's like a memory, just because that was the only time I ever fully believed the streak was going to end. When it was the Sweet Chin Music and the pedigree, I was like, that's it, it's done. That's the only time I ever believed that it was I got worked into believing it was going to end. So I've always loved Triple H, always loved The Rock. I'm a very generic. I like all the classic. But I mean, to be fair, Triple H didn't like. A lot of people didn't like Triple H with his whole era of tyranny, whatever you call it. But I've always liked Triple H. All right. I used to love people like Mr. Kennedy as well. Don't know why. I think it's just the whole gimmick, the mic stuff. But yeah, my stuff's been more it was mainly The Rock and Triple H for me, to be honest.
I think it's a bit it's sort of it's a generic answer that people give. Obviously, Triple H and The Rock, but it's because obviously when they were in the prime, they were so good, sort of thing. So
Yeah.
it was say they are my favorite sort of thing. So it was not really cliche because obviously the cliche would be my favorite is John Cena because he's won
Well.
all the titles sort of thing. But
I love John Cena. Absolutely love John Cena. But because my era of growing up was more Triple H The Rock. But I would say John Cena is one probably. I love the run now. I just love everything John Cena does. So, like, I love John Cena that much that I do shoulder tackles, and I've based most of my matches on shoulder tackles.
I think my favourite part about Cena's run so far was definitely putting Punk through the table and doing his own version of the pipe bomb.
It was brilliant.
I thought that was absolutely fantastic the way that they did that. So obviously the journey from fan to an active wrestler is quite a challenging one. What were some of the initial steps that you took to get involved in wrestling? Obviously you alluded to getting into the academy sort of thing. What was your first experience taking a bump and hitting the mat? What was that like?
I remember it not being very nice. Nearly 11 years ago now. But like, yeah, I remember being ready for it. I was like, you know what, I'm ready for this. I've done all this training. I'm excited to do it. I mean, the first class was like 30 odd people, and it just whittled down to like 12 eventually, like after a couple of weeks. But we had quite a rough first few weeks, just because we got drilled and drilled and drilled. We had people like Chris Masters, we had Gangrel, like we had a lot of these people, like Lionheart when he was, obviously around. So we got drilled a lot. I remember the Gangrel seminar and our first 2 weeks being, I wouldn't say horrendous, but like it was tough. It was like you need, like, this is what it takes. So it was bump after bump after bump. It was, no, you've not done that right. You need to do it like this. Like, it was very, I like learning like that. I like being told, no, that wasn't right. But even then, you first into wrestling, you got Gangrel, like legend of wrestling, and he's there just shouting at you, going, "That's wrong." It is intimidating. But I think some stuff has molded, the people who are still wrestling there into what they were, into better wrestlers. But then obviously it does put people off. I understand that, and I also understand that isn't always the best way to teach people. It's very old school. So yeah, I remember quickly getting used to bumping because it just got drilled into us. We did a lot of squats, a lot of cardio, just constant. It was 3-4 times a week at the start, training, and it was just an intense. It was fun though, because you start making friends. Because I was someone who, I had a couple of friends who like wrestling, but not that many, and because it's a whole community. And to find all these people who like wrestling, it's just like, there's other people like us. Like, most of the people who like wrestling, the kids who were bullied in school, and most people that became wrestlers were guys who were bullied in school, and girls. Like, it's like this phenomenal little world and community.
It's great to hear that, mate. So, obviously, as I alluded to at the start, you've been wrestling for 10 years now. What have been some of the most memorable matches that you've had so far?
So, when I won the Bolton title against Jack Johnson, because we built to it for a good maybe 18 months potentially. Like, I had a chance to win the title against Rarebit. I won, but the decision got reversed, and then people were already chanting then, "Oh, Bentley's our champion." And then we kind of like built up to me getting the one contender again. Jack screwing me out of the title, like winning, like with cheating, and then me winning the Rumble, and then just the atmosphere and the whole build we did, and I've got the video of when I won, the whole, like, kids just jumping up and down, and like the whole atmosphere. So that was probably, in terms of moment, like amazing for me. But then also, like, since then, I feel like I'm a better wrestler since then, because I've wrestled people who are better than me, and learned off them and gone to them. When I've wrestled them, I'm like, I want to do your type of match. I want to test myself to see what I wrestle. Me and Phil Michaels started together, but I think Phil Michaels is one of the best technical wrestlers in Britain, and So I was like, when I wrestled Phil for the title, I was like, Phil, let's do one of your matches. I know it's going to be the most cardio-driven, like effort and memory, like test of memory, but I want to do it. I want to see if I can do it, and we smashed it. But also more recently, I debuted for Future Shock earlier this year, and I just loved my debut match against Conor Patrick Riley. Loved it because I feel like everything's starting to come together. Everything's like little bits I'm working on, and everything's starting to work. And when you got someone like him to bounce off, it was a really good heel. And as soon as he goes out, so I'm nervous for my debut. As soon as he goes out before me, boos. So I'm like, okay, he's already made that easy for me because they already hate him. So I actually don't have to do as much as I thought I was going to have to do. And we could bounce off each other. So that was, I think, those two probably stick out most to me, like my debut there and the match with Jack.
Okay, Sam, mate. So I've got some Instagram questions. I've already spoken to you before we came on about who they're from. So just rattle these off really quick, mate. From Pretty But Deadly, they ask, what has been a highlight in your career so far?
Like I said, I think to be fair, highlight also is personally like the Future Shock one, like I've already just said, and then getting a good reaction because I was very scared because I was like, if I don't get a good reaction here, then what's going to happen? Like, have I messed up or and I did, and it was good, and I was proud. And then on a professional company level is when we start, like so I co-own Salford with Alex Boylan, and just to go out there and we've sold out every show, and to maybe our first show just because we were so nervous about it. We didn't even know. We said we'd be happy if we sold 100 tickets, and we sold out. And then just for that to all go smoothly and all go well, and people wanting to come back, and everyone saying how good it was, and how nice everyone was, and to go out, like, I'm not bothered on my own show about winning, and pulling back the curtain, I have won one match on my own promotion since starting. Not bothered about it at all, but just to make that entrance at my own promotion and everyone, be people cheering and people wanting us to do well is just that. It's a nice highlight.
That's brilliant to hear, bud. So from very good mutual friend of ours, from Mr. Steve Grimshaw, his first of three, this time is not taking over the show like I did with Holloway. Shout out to Steve Grimshaw, make sure you go check him out. Steve asks, what's the challenges of being a booker and a wrestler? Do many wrestlers suck up to you?
I have to be a bit diplomatic. I'll answer this one. So it is quite hard mentally because there are people who used to not really, speak to me or not, really give me the time of day, and are now very nice to me. But sometimes it's kind of judged. Is it because I'm around them more? It's like me second guessing. Is it just because they're just being nice for the sake? It's more probably me going, oh well, are they just being nice, or are they being nice because of a reason? Are they trying to get on the show? And that's me, probably an internal thing for me rather than like them. And I don't want to judge people or assume anything. So it's more of a second guessing kind of thing. So it's a doubt of, are they being nice to me for me? Are they being nice because they want something out of me? And that's nothing on anyone. But that's like the main challenge is being a wrestler and a pro at the same time. That's kind of the biggest thing is, who are your real friends? Who can you trust? I mean, fortunately, I've not had anybody who's done anything to break our trust or anything like that. I'd like to think me and Brian are generally well-known, nice guys. So nobody has done anything like that yet. So it's probably just an internal fear of things going wrong or people distrust of people in general, not certain people, just from life and from seeing things happen to other people and, the way the world is. So that's probably the biggest challenge is just not knowing who you can trust, but like just being comfortable in yourself to be like, I'm going to be the same with everybody. So hopefully everyone's fine with me.
So, with that, would you say that you try and keep people, especially talent, sort of like arm's length, so that they don't
Not
feel as though they're getting too comfortable, sort of thing?
not really, no, because we already know 95% of everybody because we've wrestled with them at promotions and we've been through it and we've trained with everybody. It's not like we've just come into wrestling and we've made this promotion. We're like, oh, I could keep these guys apart. Like, yeah, a lot of people on the show are our friends. Like, but there's a professionalism as well when we're like, right, we need you to do this, we need you to do that. Like, but like outside of Salford wrestling days, I go to the gym with you guys. Like, I'll train with them. I'll go out for a drink with them. Like, I'm not trying to separate people who work for us on that day and personal relationships, because at the end of the day, we've all, like I said, we've all come up together. We're all fighting for the same cause. We're all trying to make wrestling a better place.
Great to hear, mate. So you alluded to it already, but Steve also wants to ask, how did you feel once you got home from the first Salford City wrestling show? Obviously, you alluded that you'd sold out.
So I'm very, very bad, and something I worked on, at giving myself credit for anything. So I'll be honest, after the first show, I can look back on it now and be like trying, because I've done a lot of stuff and work and still struggle with it. I've given myself credit, but my first thought is, well, it's going to be, we're going to have to follow that up. It's going to have to, we need to sell it. Is the next one going to be, we're going to sell as many tickets? Or like my brain's already gone. It's already like, right, next one. I didn't have a moment where I was, even at the end of the show, clearing up, I'm still thinking, like, I didn't have a moment where I'm like, let it sink in. And I'm trying at each show, but I'm still not fully there with that sort of stuff. Like, even now, we've sold quite a lot of tickets for August. Like, we've only got 60 left, but I'm still like, right, need to post this, need to post that, need to do this, need to do that. Like, I'm not happy till it's sold out, or till we've sold. Well, I'd say till we sold out. I'm not happy till it's sold out, because as arrogant as it's not even arrogant. It's more perfectionism, I think. It's more me not wanting to fail, I think, because, and it's not just me. Obviously, Boiling wants the same things, but I think Boiling's a lot more chilled out about it. Whereas I'm very much, okay, we need to do this, we need to do that, we need to do this, we need to do that. It's very always on my mind. So yeah, unfortunately, I can look back now and be like, yeah, I'm proud of that day. But at the time, and I was thinking about the next show. It wasn't even, oh, we did well there. It was a thank you, everybody. But in my brain, it's, oh, the next show is going to be hard to sell tickets for, because everyone's been to the first one, and like, oh, is it because from intrigue? Is it just this? Is it just that? So yeah, that was kind of my experience.
So, mate. So, Steve's last question is, how have you evolved your character and work rate in the recent years?
So before COVID, I was very in and out of wrestling before COVID, and I didn't really have a gimmick. It was just angry man with a flat cap. And then it really came from a bit of mental health, to be honest. Like, I need a character. What do I believe in? Like, and I just hate injustice. I hate people being treated badly. I hate, the world's a cruel place. And I was like, what can I do with that? Well, vigilante superhero, like, they fight against justice, don't they? Well, they fought just not against justice. I was like, so it kind of just, it slightly evolved over the years. I'm only really, I think now, I mean, I feel like my work rate has always been quite high. I always want to go training. I mean, the last 8 months I've been smashing. I've been going to a lot of training. I've been going here, there, everywhere. I've been going to PPW in Sheffield. I've Future Shock like 2-3 times a week, and smashing going to the gym a lot. I mean, I've always went to the gym almost every day, but like going with more of a plan now, and stepping my meal plan up and trying to take it to the next level, because I kind of see it's kind of evolved from being the vigilante and just wrestling to now merging the two. Like, how do I use the vigilante as a character in wrestling, rather than how do I have this character which means something, but then the wrestling is disconnected from it? because it's just wrestling. It's just like how would a vigilante react to being punched? How would he react to your opponent gets, like, saying something bad to the crowd? How, like, we want to stand up for like all those sort of things. And I got a lot of that from Liam Slater and like Sam Bailey. Liam Slater, I was showing Liam Slater all my matches in Sheffield because I was paying for one-to-ones, and we were going through, right, that's why are you doing that? Why are you doing this? Stand, like, how does a superhero stand? And it's all like trying to get to that sort of stuff. And I think that's what helps you get to that next level, hopefully. I'm just like trying to, each match, I'm trying to improve little things like that, and I constantly think. So that's like the evolution of trying to get to that level where I'm like, okay, like for me, I think it's all about looking as professional as possible as well. So I've like been smashing the gym recently. I got brand new, because I hadn't had new promo pics for like 4 or 5 years, and they were all just my back with my logo on. So now, like, got really good I think they're really good. I feel like they could be better, but that's me. I never actually think anything's good enough. But for now, I think they look professional enough. I'm looking at getting new gear. I've got new boots. Just trying to make everything as a package and full character and just professional.
Definitely, mate. I've got to say, the stuff that I've seen on your Instagram, the jacket that you alluded to with the logo on, does look quite badass, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I mean, I've had that for 5 years, 6 years, but I'm happy with that. It's just more the other aesthetics.
Definitely, like they say, you've got to adapt because wrestling is a ever evolving game, isn't it? Sort of thing.
Yeah.
So, mate. So, next question is from Brisbane Jamie, who asks, I think you might have alluded to this already. Who was your toughest opponent so far?
Toughest in terms of how that hurt, or toughest in terms of memory and planning? And
if you want to go on both, mate, you can go on both. But if you want to just focus on one, that's entirely up to you, mate.
I had this weekend. I had a big meaty battle with Brian Strong at Future Shock, and I'm still sore. But that's because we're both big men. We both battered each other. We both threw each other around, and that's probably that and wrestling Rarebit at Bolton a long time ago. That probably the two biggest, meatiest guys I've wrestled, and felt it afterwards. Whereas in terms of memory, definitely that probably main event with Phil Michael. We ended up going 25 minutes and just remembering everything. But I did. We talked, like, we helped each other through it, and yeah, that's, I'd say, the toughest in terms of those aspects.
Okay, mate, sound. So, last question, and it's from a mutual friend of ours, Alfie and Dee Dee. It's stepping away from the wrestling of this one, and I think we've got to be a bit careful, because the last time that we had someone insult Dee Dee, the stream corrupted, so we might want to watch out what we say here. So Alfie and Dee Dee asks, who's better, Batman or Dee Dee?
Well, I have to be careful here, because I know Alfie's thoughts on Batman. And I know she prefers the villains in Batman because they have a better character arc and, you know, things like that. But I will have to say Batman. I mean, Batman's rich. He saves people. Dee Dee just manipulates people.
Please don't hurt us, Dee Dee. Anyway, mate. So, obviously, moving on to the next lot of questions. I like to call this part crafting the vigilante. So, obviously, your persona as the vigilante is quite distinctive. What aspects of your own personality or beliefs did you infuse into the vigilante? So, when you were first creating it?
So, yeah, like I said, it's the sense of not liking injustice in the world and wanting to stand up for people and wanting to just, because I've always been someone who wants to be there for people and wants to try and protect people to my own faults, and to, you know, want the world to be better, and just get disappointed at things. And so I thought, let's just use that. You use that as fuel. So that's the aspects of my personality. Whereas I've always liked Batman, and we're going to be a vigilante. I think it's more Batman than Superman. Got be out, like I said, I've got my Marvel mug here. It's not got Batman on it, but I would actually, for some reason, Captain America used to be my favorite. I don't know why. I can't give you a reason. So, but I couldn't go full Captain America in Britain, could I? So, but I love Batman. I've loved all the Batmans. So, yeah, it was more black and yellow because yellow is my favorite color as well. I'm colorblind, so bright colors, yellow, oranges are my favorite colors. So yeah, I've always wanted to be black and yellow. So they're the aspects of my personality, and obviously the characters, the justice stuff, and the standing up for people.
So, mate, so can you describe the feeling of stepping through the curtain for the first time as the vigilante? What sort of things go through your mind in those moments?
The very first time I wrestled as a vigilante, or just every time I go out?
The first time that you went out as the vigilante, mate.
So funny story. The first vigilante I actually went out, I was heel, because I've been sorting the gimmick out. It's like I've only got all the gear now, and I ended up wrestling Danny Hope, and obviously Danny Hope can't be heel. Like he's face everywhere. It's like amazing, and I was like, I'm gonna have to be heel. So it wasn't like it was nerve wracking because it was Danny Hope as well. But yeah, that time it was a bit. I don't really know what I'm doing as that heel character as a heel either, because I haven't since then. I've not worked as that character. I worked once as that character heel, but like I've been face predominantly everywhere. So that was a bit. I don't really know what I'm doing here. But since then, I think I kind of get a little moment when I go out because I do my little pose on the floor and I don't have to look at the crowd. So it's more me psyching myself up really for most of it. It's like, right, let's get through this. But they are also the longest 10 seconds of your life. Because people looking at you, but you're not looking at them and you're waiting for your music to drop. And so, yeah, I think I felt like I started to have something because it was more at Bolton. And as soon as I got up from, I do my pose, get up, say, come on, Bolton. Fans were kind of there with me. And I think it's just kind of gone strength to strength because I've seemed to have had the support of the fans at 99% of places I've worked. So I don't know whether that's because of the character. I hope it is. But yeah, I still get very nervous before I go out. It's more the 2 minutes before I go out, my brain goes, I've forgotten everything. Like, forgotten everything. I need the loo. Like, oh, my mouth is dry. Oh, I need a drink. Oh, my foot's cramping. Oh God. Oh, like, and that happens almost at every. It happens at the majority of shows. I think the promotions where I wrestle a lot and I'm quite comfortable, it doesn't happen as much, depending on the match. If it's a longer match, yeah, and even wherever, or if it's something I haven't really done before, or if it's but that always happens.
Okay, but so obviously, as you alluded to earlier, you are the co-owner of Salford City Wrestling. So becoming a wrestler obviously is one thing, but co-owning a promotion such as Salford City Wrestling, it's a whole different ball game sort of thing. What was the catalyst for starting SCW, and what was the vision you and your partner had for it?
So Boylan's retiring soon anyway, so he wanted to stay in wrestling. But we were also both getting a bit at the time disillusioned, probably just because we weren't getting on some show, like we weren't getting as far as we wanted to at the time, which is how most promotions start really. But we wanted to do it for the better reasons. We'd wrestle on shows and we'd be like, well, why didn't they do it this way? Or why, why it wouldn't be cool if this happened. Or wouldn't it be cool if that happened. Or wouldn't it be cool if you got paid when you got there. Or wouldn't it be cool if we split the pictures money at the interval, like with the talent. And, because I'd be like, we're stood there sometimes and there's 20 people laid up and we're not seeing any of that money and like all that sort of stuff. So we went, and then we also thought, that's not going to badmouth anyone on this. There's certain promotions that we don't feel is professional, as in ran like a limited business, ran like, signing waiver forms and all that sort of stuff and receipts of payments and all that official things. So we wanted to be, we kind of came up with putting the professional into professional, like back into professional wrestling for us. And we've tried to keep it like that. Like, so when you turn up as a wrestler to solve, it's making it a nice experience for the wrestlers and the fans, and making things we like things making sense. So we wanted to tell stories that made sense and carried on from show to show, and like so you could follow it and keep the fans interested in that, and like not have things were forgotten about, like, oh, someone won something here and then next show it's forgotten about, or we just wanted to craft our own thing and try it and see how we could do. It's gone well so far. The wrestlers have said, they love wrestling for us. They've said it's a nice environment and everyone just worked for us. Nobody doesn't get paid, even people who help out. So everyone at least gets some money. No, because we said that nobody's not getting paid because you're working for us. We're not having any volunteers. We're not having anyone volunteering with the hope of getting a booking. Like we've basically said at the start, if anyone wants to support us and come down and network or chat, just buy a ticket, because that's a lot more support than helping out for free all day. And then, so that was kind of the inspiration. And then we met up and we kind of went, right, let's make sure we're on the same page. So we both had a list of talent each. It was like, let's have a list of talent, make sure. And I'd say 90% of that list was very similar. And then we just kind of went from there, and it just escalated, and look where we are now.
It must be really rewarding, obviously, seeing the fruits of your labour, obviously coming truthful, and obviously the feedback that you get from wrestlers. What are some of the biggest challenges that you first faced when you were first, obviously, starting the promotion up?
Finding a venue, and deciding exactly, because we both Boylan lives in Oldham. I live in Salford now. I lived in centre of Manchester before. I think we originally looked at, because we were like, oh, where isn't the promotion? Where's there a gap? So we looked in Bury, however you say it, and just couldn't find a venue. Just like went round to loads. I go in and the room's too small, or there's not enough room for this, not enough room for that. And then one day I went on my own to look at another one in Salford, and I walked in and it was like, oh, this is beautiful. But it was very expensive. So I was like, oh, getting a bit disheartened. And then I went to look at this one, and like, the quarter is a good price. We've had to get a lower ring, but it was fine. It's fine. Some wrestlers do hit their heads on the certain side of the ring. I was the very first one to do it. So after warning people in the team talk, be careful on these turnbuckles, and on my entrance, I headbutted the roof. But there's a lot of room on the other side of the ring, so it's fine. There's like some constraints to the venue, which is just because it's the way it is. But we're happy with it. So I think that was the biggest challenge. The biggest other challenges is at the start. It's been, I wouldn't say plain sailing, but it's been we don't really disagree on much, which is good. We get so a lot of business decisions we make very quickly because we're both kind of on the same wavelength. So like one of us will suggest something and be like, yeah, that's a good idea, let's do it. Or we're very comfortable at saying that's not a good idea, and justifying it, and then the other person going, fair enough, how about we do something else? So in terms of the dynamic between us two, it's been fine. I think the biggest challenge we've had is we had issues with the ring. I was on show 3. And a board kept popping up, and I was worrying, and because I don't understand rings. I wrestle in them, don't understand the way they're built. Like, I will help carry things. I do not understand them. But obviously, I kind of get everyone paid on the day, and Boylan does a lot of the sorting things out, and he's very good at the ring stuff. So, but they had to keep rebuilding the ring, and it got to like half an hour before doors. I was like, what's going on? And my anxiety was going. And I was doing the opening match as well. So I was like, and it finally got done at like 6 o'clock, half an hour before. But for that hour, my brain was haywire.
It must have been really stressful. Obviously, like you say, you were the first match out. Was that something that you particularly made a note of, sort of thing, to watch out for? Or was it just like a go with the flow sort of thing?
What with? Sorry.
So obviously, we're saying that the board was one of the boards was showing. Was that something that you sort of like made a note of to
No,
kind
so
of
it got
avoid?
fixed. It was
Okay,
just it kept popping up, and there was a way the ring had to be built, so it didn't pop up, and so it was fine in the end. It was just we didn't have to do anything during the show to accommodate it. It was all sorted beforehand.
fantastic, right? So obviously, being a wrestler and a corner as a mixture of responsibilities between the two, how do you balance your role of the two and obviously the responsibilities? Does one inform the other, or the distinct hats that you have to wear for each?
Um, so like on the day, I will try and get everything done, everyone paid, the team's all done, or find gaps to like be able to plan with who I'm wrestling, or or I will tell the other person, oh, I'm going to be busy doing this, and that. I'm happy to do what you want to do as well. Like, I'm more accommodating to what they would like to do. Obviously, we'll have a plan of what we wanted out of the match, or what, like me and Boylan have on the run sheet, but I prefer to go earlier in the card just so I can wrestle and I can then do everything else. But then some shows Boylan hasn't even wrestled, so it's took pressure off me because it's been easier for me. So Boylan's been doing all the running and screaming to the refs down the walkie-talkies and making sure everything's running smoothly, and I've just been able to wrestle, which I'm grateful for. But I still listen, and I'm making sure everyone goes where they need to be. I found it easier as time's gone on to tune out each one when I'm wrestling, or just let them two merge. So like the last show we had a 5-way. Me and Boylan were in that 5-way in the opening match. So I got in the ring, and I'm not quite comfortable now just because we were just chatting about like, oh, there's a few spare seats there, and it's like we weren't talking about the match. It was just like, oh, because we're both faces anyway, so we were just chatting. And I was like, oh, maybe we move that over here, like whilst we're in the ring. But yeah, I'm finding it easier as time goes by to juggle the two. The first few shows, I found it very hard to concentrate fully on both.
Okay, mate. So, final question before we move on to the deeper stuff. What would you say is Salford City's wrestling's DNA? What makes your promotion unique, and what do you hope fans take away from each show?
So we are very, 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 very big on things. Having large characters, having stories you can follow from show to show, having as good professional wrestling as possible, as highly trained wrestlers, people know what they're doing, and it just being a nice overall vibe throughout. And I think we've proven that so far. What we do with the stories, I think we tell more long-term stories. And we'll obviously have little bits of short-term stories, because obviously everything can't be a year-long story. But like there's things that play everywhere, and we'll have Chair Burnley, our announcer, like give a little rundown before each match. Or if you weren't here last time, then Bentley, and this isn't one of the stories I'm just making up now. Bentley and Phil, last time Phil attacked Bentley, so he's annoyed. Just little bits like that, because of this, because of that, and we have a run sheet. Well, not a run sheet, a sheet on every single seat that has each match, has a little context about the characters, has a bit of backstory, has QR code on it. So we try and tell stories. I think that makes sense, and then you can get invested in and follow. And I think that's our main USP, because there's a lot of British promotions which are great promotions, but you just go and it's just run. It's really good matches, but sometimes there's no story. It's just like, these two guys are really good wrestlers, which is great. So sometimes that is all you want anyway. Like, it's whatever your personal preference is. Like, I love watching WWE and AEW. I know AEW do a lot of stories. WWE is more for stories, isn't it? AEW, I will watch some matches and go, that was unbelievable. There wasn't any story, but that was unbelievable. So it's completely your personal preference. But if you love story telling wrestling and things making sense, then word for you. we also try and have, some matches that are like that, but within the story. So like Jack and Phil, they're feuding over being the Zuberweights because Jack wants Phil to be part of the Zuberweights at Salford. And they're two guys who can do one of those matches who's like loads of moves, loads of spots, loads of things. But like we try and do that, but within a story.
That, I've got to say, mate, that is quite unique. Obviously, having the show written on the piece of paper for the fans to see, and then obviously with the context and the QR codes. Because went to my first sort of indie wrestling show with my friend Liam, who does the Magic of Wrestling podcast, and we went, and there was just no context to the matches. Like, oh yeah, you're having these two guys fight for this belt, then you're having this guy fight this guy, having these two fight these two, and we were just like, but what's the story?
Yeah.
So I don't know whether this is the same for you, but I like a good story within the wrestling. It's got to have good storytelling features.
Yeah, you
What's
can
your
get
thoughts on
invested
that?
then. You can be like, oh, he's done this and he's done that, and that's what we like in wrestling. I mean, but like we like stories.
Definitely, mate. So yeah, it's I'm definitely gonna have to come down and watch you guys sometime. Hopefully, I can come down soon. So onto the last part of onto the chat, mate. This is obviously where we're going to start getting a bit deeper. So just quick warning to anybody that is watching. There's going to be questions and possibly answers here that may cause people to get upset about it. Certain topics and certain issues that might be addressed here. If you are sort of facing problems, make sure you go check some help out with the links below. So first question, mate, is wrestling is obviously really demanding, a really demanding profession, both physically and mentally. How did you first become aware of the mental toll it was taking, or perhaps did you recognize that you were grappling with mental health challenges?
Probably outside of wrestling related. I went through 8 months ago, 6 to 8 months ago, I went through a breakup, and I didn't realize how bad my mental health was. And now I've been to go into, like, I was one of those people who never really was too scared to speak about the feelings, or never spoke about the feelings. And it was just really, it was never something I even knew I was bad at, until it got pointed out, and still getting there now. I've been going to therapy every week since December, and slowly getting there, slowly being able to talk about feelings, slowly being able to open up and communicate, and knowing what I didn't even know what I wanted out of life or wanted to, but now I can identify, like, oh, well, was I just doing this because I was just trying to please people, or was I just doing this because I was just like, what am I doing for myself? And I wasn't really doing anything for myself. I was just doing things to keep other people happy, or to keep the people, like, just anything to not be in trouble, or not, like, put myself first. And I think that did bleed into wrestling, because I was always worried about going to wrestling and not being there for other people, or not, like, it would make me not go to some shows, or make me not go to training, or not, like, it would also play, like, whilst I'm at a show, like, oh, should I be here? Should I not be there? Like, it was always playing on my mind. And yeah, that was like the catalyst to be like, right, I need to sort myself out, because I don't really know what I want out of life. I don't really know who I am, which was, eye-opening. So that was the catalyst, really.
Yeah, mate, definitely. So obviously the character and the persona that you're portraying is obviously the vigilante, someone that you're basing around superheroes. So you obviously, when you're portraying these characters, you have to portray someone that is a strong and often stoic persona. How difficult is that when obviously you're suffering mentally outside of wrestling? Is it like, can you just switch between outside of wrestling and in wrestling, or is that something that you have to hide?
So I think, this is something a therapist has said, is I do that so I can pretend I'm what I want to be, because it doesn't have to be me. It's a character. So that kind of person is the person I want to be. I want to be this confident person who, stands up for people. And like in reality, if I have to stand up for someone in real life, I can't. Or like if I find it really difficult to. I don't like confrontation. I don't like anything like that. So like, I'm playing this character who is confident enough to do this. So it's kind of your inner self switching off and then doing everything that it wants to be, and portraying that, which is probably why it looks like I'm enjoying it a lot, because it's like the inner child is coming out to play. And so it's very much as soon as I go out that curtain, it's a different person. And I'm trying to obviously merge the two, because it's obviously something I can be, and something like that I can be confident. I'm not a very confident person outside of wrestling with speaking to people, or I can come across it. I think I've always looked like I am, I think, but inside it's like fake it till you make it kind of thing. But stuff I'm working on, and yeah, it's a very pretend. It's not. It is me, but not. It's hard to describe.
Yeah, I understand that, mate. So obviously, without going into anything that you're uncomfortable with talking about, can you share any examples of a time when your mental health challenges felt overwhelming? What did that look and feel like for you?
So I get a lot of anxiety just day-to-day life, and it's one of those things where I think the most was obviously after my breakup. It was very deep in anxiety and not really knowing what to do. So it was very I never got to the stage of wanting to cause any harm or anything like that, but it was I don't know what this feeling is, because I've not been used to feeling feelings, and it was scary. And I'm still getting used to, I'm still trying to, I'm process identifying what feelings are, or what certain feelings mean, or what is that, like where am I feeling stuff. And so it was difficult. It still is difficult when I'm feeling like that, because I'm like, why? It's questioning why I'm feeling like that. Like, I'll be just going out with day-to-day life, and I'm like, oh, what's that? I don't know what that is. What's caused that, and what am I thinking about? So that's the difficult stuff I find is, and then I go through stages of, I need to sort this out. And actually, because I'm going to the therapy every week, it keeps me on track. If I have a week where I'm just go off the rails and not even do that, then it pulls me back in, and like I'm held accountable. But yeah, it was definitely after the breakup. It was an eye-opening look into my raw self, which I've never looked at, and identified a lot of things about myself that scared me.
Great, mate. I really do appreciate your obviously showing us that side, mate. So, who were your biggest allies and sources of support during these times? Did you have family, friends around, or was it mainly just through therapy that you managed to get through those times?
I've got a good network of family and friends. So I just went out and kept seeing people, kept seeing my mum. Like, I stayed at my mum's for a bit, because obviously I was in between accommodations. People at work really helped. Yeah, I've Alfie, who's been on here talking about her mental health. I've come helped. Like, she's helped a lot. Just other people in wrestling. There is a community of people who will help. I'm very, if someone wants help, I'll help as well. So everyone looks out for each other. Most people do, if you're in the right networks. So yeah, it's just been very boiling. It's helped a lot. Just family, friends, just at least I have a network that I can text a lot of people and go, oh, do you fancy a coffee tomorrow or next week? So I just kind of did that. I just kind of kept going for coffees with different people, getting different people's perspectives on life, just gathering information about life.
Brilliant, mate. So, can you share a specific triumph or moment where you felt as though you'd overcome a significant hurdle in your mental health journey?
It was actually quite recently. So after this weekend, really, because I've always got this constant feeling of anxiety. And Sunday night, after I wrestled on Saturday, wrestled on Sunday, I thought I had a good weekend, and I was comfortable. Like I get a lot of when I'm on my own, just sat there, not really knowing what to do with myself. I don't know like just watching TV or playing PlayStation or sort of scheduling solving stuff or just trying to keep myself busy, not really knowing what to feel. And I always get that feeling like, oh, I should be doing something. But Sunday night I just felt relaxed. I felt okay, and it was kind of all the stuff I'm doing must be working because I'm comfortable getting there. Not all the time, obviously, but that little moment where it's like, no, I feel relaxed for the first time in a while.
Awesome, mate. So, what message would you give to other wrestlers, or indeed just anyone that's watching who might be struggling with their mental health but are afraid to speak out or seek help?
The best thing you can do is get help. Best thing you can. I know, obviously, it's not. If you need therapy, it can be expensive. If you need it now, I do pay for it every week. But if you've got the money, I would, because obviously you can get it straight away rather than getting on your waiting lists. And unfortunately, I think there is quite a big one on the NHS. But if you can't, just keep speaking to people, because speak to the right people. Identify who your safe people are. Identify who you can trust. Identify who you feel comfortable opening up to, and that will help you if you even don't want therapy, or whilst you wait for therapy, or Google things. Obviously, Google can be horrendous at certain things, but like try and watch YouTube videos. I use the Headspace app. I use that every morning. I've got into the habit of meditating 10 minutes every morning. And it's got loads of stuff on there. It's only $8.99 a month. And do things like that. I journal every night now. Obviously, these are stuff that I picked up off my therapist who's helped me. But just writing down what you're feeling. So even if your notes up on your phone, I've done that if I'm not on my journal to hand, and that just does really help.
Right, mate. So, how do you believe that, obviously, as a wrestler and as a co-owner, how do you believe the wrestling industry as a whole can better support the mental well-being of its performers and staff?
That is a tough question, because obviously the wrestling industry, there's not a governing body. There's no soul like in an actual sport. Like a competitive sport, you'd have a governing body, when who does all this sort of stuff, like football has FIFA and FA and all that things. But there isn't one in wrestling. There's nothing for that. And I think that causes a lot of problems. But I don't know I think it's more on wrestlers and promoters themselves, obviously, to check in with each other. Make sure they're doing all right. If someone posts something on social media that might be seen as, is that person okay? Check in with them. Off to go for a coffee. I think it's on the workers, the staff, to all look after each other. I don't think, like I said, that is the industry, isn't it, technically? So I think it's on us as individuals to check on each other. I don't think there's much else. Don't careful what you say online. When someone posts something, even if just give it a like. Like all you have to do is like it. Because sometimes some people post something and it'll, that's on the mental health. Oh, no one's liking my stuff. Like, oh, I'm not getting anywhere. Like you've scrolled past it. You've scrolled a millisecond more just to tap on it. Like just things like that. Just supporting people. Because it's a very competitive industry within ourselves as well, isn't it? Like people want to get on these shows, people want to get on that shows, but then don't try and hold on to that bitterness of, I should be on that. I've been guilty of that before. I still am sometimes, but support rather than be bitter. or because it'll make your mental health worse, and then you could in turn make someone else's.
Definitely, mate. So, what role has wrestling played in your overall mental health journey? Has it been a source of strength? Has it been a challenge, or has it been both?
Oh, I'm gonna have to say both. Like I said, it's helped me through this last 8 months, because I've been able to put my heart and soul into it, and it's been focus and the benefits from working your best, trying to, get as good as possible. Like when you do something good and the feeling you get when you have a good match and the crowd are into it and you get praise and is the best thing ever. And it's hard to describe. But then also on that flip side, I am terrible. Like I said, I could have the best match you've ever seen, and I would come back behind the curtain and be like, so what was wrong with it? Like, tell me what was bad. Like, because that's me trying to get better, but then also me not wanting to give myself praise at the same time. So that's what I fight against. I fight against everything not being good enough for myself. And when I get back through the curtain and someone just goes, yeah, it's good that, I'm like, yeah, but can you tell me what wasn't good? Because I want to get better, and which is a good and a bad thing, I think. But sometimes, like I said, I need to sit back and go, you know what, I did well then. And that's all I needed, or that's all this needed, or just could, like, rather than be like, focus on the bad stuff in the match or the bad stuff. And I will get very emotionally annoyed at other things going on when sometimes things I don't agree with, or why is that doing like this, or why is that done like that? Like, really, I shouldn't care. It's like I care too much about the whole wrestling as a whole. Like, if something doesn't look good for wrestling or for people, it upsets me internally, and I'm like, oh, that's making all those look like. But I should be able to disassociate from that, which is a struggle. Social media is bad. You'll see something and you'll be like, oh, like, right, it can cause jealousy, or it can cause or disappointment, or it can cause all sorts of things. So I can't remember what my original point was now, but it's double-edged swords, because you can have a bad match and you'd be like, that was awful. Like, I shouldn't wrestle. Why am I wrestling? Like I said, those 2 minutes before I go out, I'm like, why am I going out? Why am I doing this? I don't really know what I'm doing. Like, all sorts of, my brain is always all over the place. Like, it can be great and it can be terrible. So yeah, it's been both, definitely.
Okay, mate. So, as we start to wrap up with the last couple of questions, what are your hopes for the future of Salford City Wrestling? What are your personal goals, inside and out, as you continue on your journey?
So Salford, I can't really say my goal is to sell out every show I ever do, because it's not going to happen. Like, and if we don't sell out, that's a learning opportunity. Like, why didn't we sell out? Like, let's look at this. Like, why didn't we sell this? Like, so it's to just keep carry on with Salford, keep building, make it a brand that people want to work for, make it a brand people want to come and see, make it still known as a friendly, inclusive, professional environment that anybody is welcome. And hopefully, 2-3 years, if we keep doing really well on tickets, get to a bigger venue and just slowly build. We don't go anywhere too quick, but just want to keep getting that good reputation, keep evolving, keep learning on what we're doing, and just keep it as good as possible and to a standard. Myself in wrestling, just very similar. Keep everything as professional as possible. Try and just keep getting better. Always learn, always strive to be better, rather than be like, oh, I've made it, or I'm comfortable, or like, oh, that's all I'm going to do for now, or just always try and get better. And I kind of need to get a new personal goal, because my goal was to get on Future Shock. So now I need to figure out, all right, what's the next goal? I'd love to wrestle on the for the Love Wrestling convention, because Future do a show on that. So that's kind of a goal as well, to be on, even in, like, just in the Rumble or just be on the show. So that's potentially another one goal, but I feel like I need to set some goals out. It's kind of, I've reached that goal now. I'm still kind of like, when I turn up and wrestle at Future, I'm very nervous. Just because it's something I've always wanted. So yeah, I need to reevaluate that. And personally, it's more, I'm happy with my work career at the moment. I'm happy with where I am. I can always try it. Like, to me, I'm very much 9 to 5, get work done, and then, you know, gym, you know, keep focusing on that stuff, keep focusing on my mental health, keep trying to be the person I want to be, and trying to be someone who's open, trying to figure out how to identify emotions, feelings, trying to, you know, be open and speak to people. So that's kind of my personal growth plan at the moment, to just keep going, keep going to therapy, keep learning about myself.
Brilliant, mate. Fantastic. So, penultimate question for you, mate, is what's the one thing you want listeners to take away from our conversation today?
Oof. Just, if you need help, talk to people, talk to your friends, talk to people. There's all sorts of things you can do. Don't just sit there and feel alone. You might feel alone. You might feel like everyone's against you. You might feel like nobody wants to speak to you, but there are people who will and want to and support you. I think that's probably the main mental health focus out of the stuff I've gone through myself.
Fantastic, mate. I really hope that people get that message across. Final question, mate. Like to finish the podcast with something a bit more light-hearted. I think I might already know the answers to this, but can you please give me your Mount Rushmore of wrestlers?
Is it 4 on Mount Rushmore or 5?
I believe 4. Yes.
Oh, John Cena, Randy Orton, Triple H. Who's number 4? Four is a difficult one. CM Punk.
Ooh. Because I asked that same question to Steve Dean last week, and he nearly had a full-scale meltdown because he was just like, "Oh no, don't make me do this." So that's probably the quickest answer I've ever heard. I've had
Well, I love John Cena. I love Randy Orton. Like, love CM Punk and Triple H. Like, these are just the guys I love.
I think. Would you say that? What era of Randy Orton would you say is your favorite? Would you say it's like 2009 when it was like an absolute?
I actually really like current Randy Orton just having fun. He's huge. He's just got massive, and he's just having fun. And I just love it. I'm here for it.
I've got to agree with you that, mate. Honestly, I absolutely love Randy Orton in a minute. When he came out and they said that he weighed something like 280 pounds and he was going like that, I'm a lot heavier. I'm a lot heavier. So I just love that. He's just in the best time of his life at the moment. It's what you love to see, mate. But that about wraps it up, guys, for today's episode. I want to say a massive thank you to Bentley for coming on today, mate. Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you so much for allowing us to obviously see the world from your perspective, obviously the wrestling world from your perspective. To finish the episode off, is there anything you want to plug, anything you want to say, or anything you want to add?
Don't really feel comfortable plugging Salford on the mental health podcast, but yeah, if you want to come watch Salford, we've got 30% of our tickets left for the end of August. So check us out on socials. You know, come and have fun. Come and watch us. We're telling stories. We're having a laugh. Check us if you're unsure. Check our social media. We've got all our shows on YouTube, all the matches, all the highlights. So yeah, check us out. Fantastic, mate. I'll make sure to put your guys' links into the description below. I'll also put Bentley's link in the description below. But other than that, guys, make sure you take care of yourselves. Check out the video for tomorrow where I'll be interviewing PL Dotson at 1:30 tomorrow afternoon. So make sure you join us. Bentley, once again, thanks so much, mate. Thank you for joining me. And we'll speak to you guys later. Thanks very much.
And there we go, bud. How